Welcome back to another Professional Picks college basketball video. We are currently 14-11 on the year. Not the greatest record, but at least we're in the positive and it's still very, very early in the season. Today, we're going to be looking at the college basketball Saturday slate, a lot of ranked games, a lot of rivalries. So there's going to be some good information for you guys if you're just looking to watch these games or if you're going to bet on them. And with that, we'll just jump right into it. As always, we have our partnership with Prize Picks. You see there on the left, they'll match your first deposit up to $100 using our promo code PROPICKS. You guys should definitely take advantage of this. It's just $100 free to play around with. A little bit how the app works is you're placing entries on player props, the flex play, built-in promo. If one of your legs misses, you still make some of your money back. And the power play is your traditional parlay. Once again, the promo code is PROPICKS to get your first deposit matched up to $100. And this app is usable in betting illegal states such as Texas, Florida, and California. And then just a quick Twitter shout out. This is just a random tweet that we're replying to. And essentially 2 months ago, I had to take where I was very down on Rutgers, lost a lot of players from the previous season. Still didn't perform too well with one of their better rosters in the last couple of decades. And you can see there, they started the year 3-3, lost to DePaul, Lafayette, and UMass. They did pick a good win up against Clemson at home this week. So still early, but I think Rutgers fans who are on me for putting them at 8 or 9 preseason are looking a little bit wrong right now, and my assessment's looking pretty accurate. I know not everything I say is right. For instance, my Purdue pick looks great. My Michigan pick looks great. Kind of nailing the Big Ten, but my Oregon prediction looks terrible. They're not doing too well. But with that, we'll get jumping into the games for this weekend. First one, there's no spreads out right now, so these are just my projected spreads. I have Wisconsin -6 at home. Not a lot of people expected much from Marquette this year. They have picked up a lot of good early wins. Their win against Illinois was without Kofi, so I don't want to put too much emphasis on that one. But nonetheless, Marquette's still getting wins against some pretty good teams. They also beat West Virginia. And then Wisconsin, on the other hand, also similar situation. Everybody's a little bit down on them, but they're playing pretty well to start the year. And in this game, this is what I have my spread picked at. I am personally going to be taking Marquette. If I can get them at +6 or better, I will be taking that number. And the main reason why is they have Daryl Marcel, the Maryland transfer, Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year last year. I think whoever you put him on between Johnny Davis or Brad Davison, he shuts down one of the two. And that's half of Wisconsin's offense right there. And then Marquette as a team, though, on the offensive end, built pretty similarly. They rely heavily on Daryl Morcell and Justin Lewis as their two main scorers. But they also have the freshman, Tyler Kolek, who's averaging 5 assists per game, shooting the ball pretty well from three. He's a solid role player. I just don't think either of these teams is as good as they have been playing. So if I could get Marquette +6 on the road, I think they could keep it close enough. And Wisconsin's a really good defensive team. If they're big favorites at all, I just think it's to be a low scoring, grinded out type game. Marquette also won this rivalry last year as even bigger underdogs. I think they repeat it here again with Daryl Morcell kind of leading the way and just taking this close matchup against their in-state rival. The next game we're going to be looking at Tennessee at Colorado. Tennessee still has Josiah Jordan James out with a hand injury. So for this one, I have Olivier Kamwa as my key player because you need somebody to shut down Jabari Walker. He's the leading scorer and rebounder for Colorado. He wasn't last year. I also predicted that in my preseason ranking videos. So Tennessee's a little bit thin on forwards. Could have also gone with Justin Paul here, but I think Olivier Kamwa It's going to be guarding Jabari Walker, and he just really needs to have a good game, mostly on the defensive end, but on the glass as well, to just kind of establish Tennessee in this one on the road. I just looking at the rosters wise, Tennessee has much better depth, much better quality of players, but without Josiah Jordan James and with them being on the road, I have this spread being at about 4, with Tennessee being about 7-point favorites in a neutral site. This one, the only big reason that I'm afraid to take this one is because Colorado was 13-3 at home last year, but that was with McKinley Wright, one of the better players all time in their program. But as this line is, last time I told you, or the last slide I told you, I would take Marquette +6 or better. I would take Tennessee -5 or better. If it gets to a greater amount, I'll probably just stay away from this one. Colorado has very good home court advantage, and they played UCLA pretty well last time out. My one problem with UCLA now is without Cody Riley, they're not the team that they were to begin the season. So if you get Tennessee -5 or better, that is the play for this game. Next, Syracuse, Florida State. Probably the game I'm most interested in watching. Probably the two teams I've watched the most of this year. And key player for Syracuse, we got the Boeheim brothers. They just shoot so well from 3-point range. Also, they can create their shot in the mid-range or in the paint. These guys are great. Getting Jimmy Boeheim from Cornell this offseason was a great pickup for Syracuse. The one downside to the Syracuse team is I don't see really any of their players as plus defenders besides their post Jesse Edwards. And this Florida State team doesn't have a great post scorer. They start Tanner Nagome, who pretty good rim protector, but I just don't think either Syracuse or Florida State's going to be really scoring a lot of points above the rim this game. I think the X factor here is Anthony Pollitt and Caleb Mills. They really need to be more assertive on the offensive end. They have to be a little bit more efficient this game. But the main reason is they have to take advantage of Joe Girard and Buddy Boeheim's just weaker defense. Syracuse doesn't play great defense, but they shoot great from 3. Florida State's got to wear them out, grind them down. I think Florida State wins this game in a very close one. If I could get Florida State to, let's say, -3 or better, I will take that. But Syracuse +6 or better, I'm riding with that. And so I would say any spreads in a 4 or 5 range, I'm going to stick away from this game. I just don't think either of these teams are as strong as everybody may have predicted in the beginning of the year. And Syracuse can be so hard to bet with the amount of 3-pointers that they take. But also for that reason, if they just hit a few of them, I think they could be in any game and competing in any game. I would love to get a nice big spread on Syracuse at like +6 at their record sitting at 4-3 here. But that's the play for this game. I'm still not sold on Florida State. I've been trying to sell myself on them. I'm only going to take them if this line's closer to even, but I'm not expecting it, with the ESPN predictor having Florida State winning this matchup about 75% of the time. This game, not going to get too much into it. Going to try to not overthink Gonzaga games, but I'm expecting a bigger spread like we saw for their matchups against Texas and UCLA and Duke. Duke did pick up the win, but I don't think that's going to really change how the odds makers are making these lines. I still expect Gonzaga to be about -8 here. And as good as I think Alabama is, I think this is just a terrible matchup for them. Between Timmy and Chet Holmgren, they're much bigger than any player Alabama, or at least skill-wise in the paint, they're much better than any Alabama player. I think if Holmgren can play like his usual self, grab rebounds, score a lot in the paint, hit a couple threes, just doing pretty much everything he does, I think Gonzaga will run away with this game. -8 up to -9. I'm taking Gonzaga. That is probably where I expect the line to be around, but I think Gonzaga is going to bounce back from that Duke loss. And just really take care of business here for Alabama. JD Davison, I think he has to start, in my opinion. He's their star freshman, most explosive player. When you get that three-headed duo of guards going, I think Alabama's going to be very tough to beat. But as far as matchups go, this is just not a very winnable game for them against Gonzaga. And then the last matchup, ranked team here. It's kind of funny seeing Iowa State back after how terrible they were last season, but they're pretty much a new team. In the image there, you see Isaiah Brockington from Penn State. He's been a stud for them. So is Gabe Kalscheur, both averaging in the teens. Gabe Kalscheur from Minnesota. I just give them the edge over Ryan Nembhard and O'Connell, who are just their 3-point shooters. It's just tough for me to back Creighton when their leading scorer, their primary playmaker, is an undersized freshman. He's very good, obviously. His older brother is the point guard on Gonzaga. So he's a very good player. I'm going to take the two senior guards who have been starting and playing many games in their Big Ten careers and are averaging even better numbers right now. I think Iowa State has some value here. I don't think they're that great for a ranked team, but I just think both of these teams are overperforming as of now. Creighton lost all their main contributors from last year, and they're just stacking some easy wins early here. Neither team has a lot of size, and I just give the edge here to the Iowa State guards, and that's the main reason why I have them taking this game. I'll take Iowa State all the way up to -4 in this one. I don't really want to take Creighton no matter what. They can shoot some threes, decent on offense. They're just too weak on the defensive end for me, and they rely too much on perimeter shooting for me to really want to back Creighton in this one. Here's the outlook on Saturday. So just about all these games occurring as an hour or two in between each other. But we like Marquette around the +6 line. We'll take Marquette +6 or better. Tennessee -4 or better. Then we got Syracuse +6 or better. So just a quick note, we're taking a lot of the or I think this graphic, yeah, so the home and the away teams should be switched here, but we're taking pretty much all the away teams besides Gonzaga. It's going a little bit against the trend of how this season has been progressing. So I would just be wary before taking all of these picks, but I think they're all great leans that you can't really go wrong with. And I expect that home team underdog trend to kind of flip here. It's got to regress back to the mean. And I just don't think all these just big underdogs or big like home team underdogs are going to continue to keep winning out. I know a lot of these are away team underdogs, so that kind of negates that fact regardless. But if you guys enjoyed this video, I hope you guys like and subscribe and let me know what you guys are taking in the comments. If there's any other games that you guys are betting on, please let me know what you're taking and why. I'd love to get back to you, and I hope everybody has some good luck this weekend.